Hi, my name is Oscar Perez, and this is my presentation for the Tableau 2 video part. Pretty much for this project, we were giving a ton of information about the sales of hair care products in the continental US. To start off, I chose a visualization that was a map of each of the states and their sales revenue across the entire time period, which was 5 years. Um, sorry, on this, you can change the years and you can see how pretty much a couple of states stayed towards the top in terms of profitability and total sales. Here, you can see that um, I added profit as a detail, as a color mark. So the yellow/gold colors states have lower profit margins as opposed to the darker and red states like California, Texas, New York, and Ohio, or Washington. Those had higher profitability when it came to the hair products that were sold. Um, so pretty much this was one of the first visualizations that I created for this project and allowed me to kind of see what kind of information I wanted to try and find out and what kind of recommendations I can make in the end. The next sheet that I created was sales per item in each state. And pretty much this just gave me a quick view of how much information was in this data set. They actually had information for each city and all of the states as well. So that was just way too much information. And I decided to focus on the sales per item in each state for this worksheet. And it was really instrumental for the entire project because it allowed me to identify some top performers. As you can see here, California, um, and other lower performers. New York was also a top performer. Ohio was also a top performer. Texas was a top performer. And then what's it called? I was able to select pretty much the top 5 states when it came to performance and see what kind of trends they were following, what they were doing correctly. And to do that, I created this worksheet, which identified the top 5 performing states, their sales and profitability per each item. And pretty much what I did here was I used the years as a filter. And I saw that throughout the different years, different products were the top performers in profitability and in total sales in each state. And pretty much the states that followed the top performers got the most sales, obviously. But when they all had similar top performers, the company did a lot better. So, for example, in 2021, Kirkland's Signature Shampoo in California was the top performer by far, and each other state had very similar um, statistics where Kirkland was the top performer for that state, and it was the highest year in sales for this data set overall. So that's a really important that when all the top states started following the trend, um, they all performed extremely well. So I identified these states as kind of trendsetters for their regions, and I was able to find the lowest performing 5 states across the entire time for this data set. And those bottom 5 were Maine, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Dakota, and West Virginia. Obviously, these states have very low population, but what was most important about these states and what I think led to the extremely low sales was that they had almost all of them had very low variety of products available, and they did not follow the trends that the trendsetters were setting and that the national averages were showing when it came to sales and profitability per each item. In order to confirm this, that suspicion, pretty much I created this worksheet that shows me the changing profitability per item in each state. This worksheet is attached to one of the dashboards that allows me to pretty much select a state and then see which items were sold in that state, and how much each of them was worth and which ones were the most profitable. This worksheet is also attached to the dashboard and allows me to see the sales per item in each state. So when I select several states, it's going to show me which ones are the top performers for that state. And this dashboard, like I said, is attached to the map and the sales of each item in each state, so that I can select one state, I can change the year, and I can follow the trends of the top performing items and see how they change. And I can also select states near that state, states that I would pretty much define as within the region of influence of that trendsetter, and see how when they follow the trendsetter and have very similar high performers, they do incredibly well. So Colorado had focused on the same bedhead shampoo as Texas this year, and actually was able to outperform Texas when it came to selling that product. Pretty much that dashboard and all the worksheets before it allowed me to create this story where I identify how I found the trends that I spoke to you about, and pretty much the recommendations that I'm gonna make in the end. Like I said, I introduced the topic with this map that pretty much shows which states are the top performers and why it's important. I identify which items are the most profitable across the different years, and how it changes even within the same state, which items are the most profitable. Identify the top performing states and see how they follow each other's trends. And when they all follow the same trends as they did in 2021, overall, the sales across the nation increased the most. And I follow the bottom performing states and see how when they didn't follow the sales trend the year before, a lot of them actually were not even used for the data set, or they had data missing, or it was too low to be included. Here you can see the change in the top selling products per year. Pretty much this confirmed that every year there was a top selling product, and it changed from year to year. And when the major trendsetters followed this product, they made the most money possible. And when smaller states did not follow the trend for that year, they lost a lot of money. They did not make nearly as much money as the trendsetters or the states that did follow those. Whether or not those states had made a lot of money before, if they had this product available and they focused on that product, they made a lot of money that year. So this pretty much allows me to identify which states would be in the sphere of influence of each trendsetter state. And what I would recommend to increase the sale of hair products and increase the profitability of these products would be to keep a close eye on those trendsetter states, the top 5 performing states I identified earlier, and pretty much centralize the marketing and the advertising strategy of the surrounding states to that trendsetter state, so that they're pretty much following the example of that state, selling the most profitable item that year. And when you have such large quantities, the production costs are going to go down. You're not going to have to advertise as much towards the end of that trend. And a lot more people are going to buy the product that is most profitable for the company overall. You can do that on a national scale or on a regional scale, depending on what the trendsetter in that region is buying the most of, because sometimes it did differ from state to state. But overall, there was one or two products every single year that were the top performers for that year, and it changed. So that would be my recommendation for increasing profitability. And you can even reintroduce those kind of products to the states that were missing values for those years by focusing only on the main product that the trendsetter has. Those states likely lost a lot of sales because they expected customers to purchase the products that they had available instead of providing the products that the customers wanted. Overall, this project taught me a lot about Tableau. One of the things it definitely taught me was how to use Tableau to visualize information in a data set that's not entirely obvious, how to find information in a data set and create something that's useful for employers to see. I think it added to me and my value as a professional, and the value that I can bring to any future professional companies that I'm part of. And overall, I'm incredibly grateful that I got to work on this project that used Tableau and that taught me how to create these visualizations and stories.